is here. It's finally made its way to Arizona. All aluminum 6-liter. What do you think, George?
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be real good.
There was actually a bonus with this engine. I got 2 engines. A aluminum 6-liter and then an aluminum 5.3. Roxy's over here with the 5.3. You all right? It's hot outside, she says. But anyways, yeah, I got 2 engines, a 6.0 and a 5.3. As you can see, the 5.3 is already disassembled. We got excited the other night and tore it down because my original plan was I was going to put the 5.3 in the truck, get it going, while I slowly built the 6.0 into either a stroker or just a piston and rod combo. But after we took the 5.3 apart just to check bearings and open the ring gaps and all that stuff, a little birdie, someone told me that 5.3 is actually a better block to build than the 6.0 in the aluminum. Something to do with the cylinder walls or the blocks thicker or something. Suggested that I just do stock bottom end with a 6-liter and build the 5.3. So that's what we're doing. So right now George is getting ready. We're gonna tear this thing down. We're gonna make sure there's nothing wrong with it, check the bearings, open up the ring gaps, and then slap it back together with a new cam and lifters and throw it back in the truck and hopefully get this thing going here pretty soon. Do need to buy a new camshaft and lifters because the last one got damaged when the engine blew up. So there's a few parts that we got to get on order, which might take a little bit of time, but we'll get them ordered and get it thrown together hopefully really soon. Damn, George is just getting to town on this thing. But
taking enough of them apart, man.
We'll update you guys along the way as we take this apart because there's hundreds of videos on YouTube of disassembling an LS, so we'll just update you guys along the way. But so far, it's always one side's cleaner than the other. The PCV valve side always seems to have gunk, whereas the other side is clean. And this is, from what I looked up, I can't remember the designation on this. What was it? An
LC9?
LC9? I can't remember. I'll have to look it up. But this was a variable valve timing and AFM 6-liter out of a truck. Yeah, it's out of a truck. It is a GM reman. There used to be a tag up here, but I took it off.
Right there.
Where is it?
Right there. Welding table.
Oh. Yep, right here. So remanufactured by GM. So it's been rebuilt. It might be overboard. We're gonna check that too when we take it apart. And then what's kind of odd is it has an 823 head on this side and an 821 on this side. I'm pretty sure that's something GM would have done when they remanned it. They probably didn't care. But who knows? They're basically the same head. The 823 was the truck head, the 821 was the LS3 head. This one's supposed to have lighter valves, and this one has the standard valves. But more than likely, GM probably put the same valves in both heads and slapped it on because that's what they had to rebuild it. But we're gonna tear it apart and find out. Got all the lifters out?
Yeah, should all be out.
Oh, cam's stuck.
There's a little pry bar right there.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, there's definitely a bad cam bearing too. There it is right there.
Yep.
So, I'll show you guys what we found. Let's see, where are they? There's one of them. A little bent. And that one you can't really see it, but it's bent. you can see where it was rubbing on the cylinder head. Can you see that? So first we were worried, like, oh, hopefully we didn't bend a valve, you know, valve hit a piston. Those all look good. No witness marks on top of the piston. What we found is a couple collapsed lifters. One on this side, one on this side of the non-AFM. They're way sunk down in there, so the push rod was basically just in there beating the hell out of it, and it bent it. And then also got the, you know, traditional lifter failure. So that's why that cam on the, or that lobe on the cam was wiped out. And then this one was about ready to spin in the bore. So typical cam and lifter issues with this motor, which is why it was replaced. I'm sure it was misfiring. I think that, if I remember right, Bob told me that put a new engine in it. They didn't want to fix it, so. Cylinders look good though. Don't you think, George?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
You're still,
Nothing's really destroyed. It's just carbon.
you know, still got cross hatches. So I don't know. We'll probably just dingle ball hone it real quick. But yeah, just
Pretty
some
solid.
carbon. Oh,
Cam bearings are gone though. that's
actually,
for sure.
this one's got some scuffs in it. Some lines I can feel with my finger. So we'll look it over some more after we get it tore apart. But more than likely, we're just gonna dingle ball hone it and send it. Nothing too terrible yet. Gotta get the oil pan off. I'm sure it's full of oil.
Like the
oil
last
pan
one.
off. Yeah, like the last one. Get the oil pan off and check the bearings.
So we discovered.
God damn. We discovered the cam bearings are wiped. I don't know if it's worse on this side.
Oh, you can see the copper all right.
Yeah, they're wiped. They're no good. I don't care what you guys say, you're not supposed to check the cam bearings, but those are, like, it feels like sandpaper up here. It's probably, I don't know, I can't see, I haven't looked. Feel that though.
Oh, good God.
Yeah, that's why the camshaft didn't want to come out. So, needs cam bearings. The cylinders still have really good cross hatches. A couple of them have some light scoring, nothing too serious. Dingle ball home that real quick. That'll be good to go. I wasn't gonna check the main bearings, but George talked me into it. So we pulled off the thrust one, and it's not looking so good either. It's got some trash in it, probably from the lifters. So crankshaft needs polished. Hopefully they can just polish it. It's not too bad, barely catches your finger. It looks a lot worse than it is. That's what they all say, but I mean, it spun over so nicely that I wasn't even gonna check them, but George was like, we better check one. All right, and now here we are, pulling the crankshaft out so that we can go get it polished. So that's where we're at with this. Probably pull the crankshaft out and then dingle ball hone it real quick and then wash the block. Think we can get all that done tonight, George? It's really hot outside still. It's, let's see, what is it? 8:52 p.m. right now, and it's 106 degrees outside, so. We'll see. Might have to wait till like 6 a.m. to wash this thing outside when it's only 90 degrees. That way my super clean doesn't dry instantly as soon as we spray it on the block. Gives us some time to soak in there and clean all the grease off. But all right, we'll pull the crank out, see how far we get with the dingle ball home. We got the block up here on the table because we're gonna knock out these cam bearings. George bought this really cool tool for doing cam bearings on LS's. Check it out, from Speedway Motors, not sponsored. So we're gonna knock out these cam bearings. And you gotta have it off of the engine stand because you gotta go from both ends. Can't remember which way it goes first, but I think we're just gonna go like this. Basically, put the driver in there. You gotta flip this around so that the O-ring side, these have O-rings on it that actually press into the bearing to help center the arbor. It's really nice. Come over here and see.
Where's the light? If you want to grab the light.
You need a light?
It's kind of darkened. It's right there.
Here you go. And then that goes in there. And then just like that. So as you can see, look at that bearing. That is terrible. Like there's actually like, that's all that metal from the lifters. See it like impregnated into the bearing? It's all that metal from those lifters going through there. Just go down the line. Just like that. This tool costs like 80 bucks. And then the bearings are only like 30 bucks. And that's what basically the machine shop's gonna charge you to do it. I don't want anything on the table to tip over. Oh! Right into the next hole. But so for the price of the tool and the bearings, you can do it yourself and not wait 2 weeks for the machine shop to do it for you. So now the last one, we gotta go around to the front. We'll put this in this way. And then on this side, come over here, George. So on this side, now that there's no bearing in there, that's sloppy, you turn it around to the tapered side to center it. So run that up into there. And then this tapered side centers it. Bob's your uncle. And that's how you remove the cam bearings on an LS, fellas. Now, do we tell them the bad news?
Gotta rip the band-aid off.
So we were cleaning up the bolts and stuff from tearing this thing apart. And when we took it apart, we didn't realize this, but this is one of the head bolts. And there's aluminum in the threads. So we pulled some threads out of the head, or out of the block. So not really sure what we're gonna do about that. Can probably fix it or drill it out, but we're trying to put as least amount of money into this thing as possible. But we'll have to fix it right, so we'll see. Also, while we were finishing taking the crank out, it's a good thing because the thrust ended up being kind of the least of them. This one had trash through it. This one's really bad. There's a really deep groove in that one. So the front one was kind of the best one, but even it has like a speck in there. So it's kind of a good thing we took it completely down. Probably would have ran for a little while, but with boost and everything, it would have been a time bomb. So we'll get this thing fixed up one way or another eventually, hopefully, maybe. Well, it's the next day. Got the old dingle ball hone out here today, and we're gonna get these cylinders cleaned up a bit. Nothing too crazy, just a light little and we'll get moving on. All right, we got the cylinders honed up a little bit. Probably can't be worse than it was, so turned out pretty good. We're gonna call that good. So now I'm gonna push this block outside and try and clean it up a little bit, wash it, try and get all of the grit and everything out of it, get rid of all the oil. My pressure washer, or I should say George's pressure washer, is out of gas, and I really don't feel like going to the gas station right now. So we're just gonna spray this thing the best we can with the old garden hose and the trusty Super Clean. We're gonna use this stuff just to mainly get all the oil off of the block. I just wanna get rid of like all of this stuff, all the oily residue, so it quits dripping on my floor. Get rid of some of the grime off of this block. So we're gonna push this thing out and brave the elements out there. It's like 100 and, what is it right now? Keep talking about the temperature here, but you know, it's serious when it's 111 degrees outside. It actually doesn't feel too bad. I was just out there moving my truck, but I'm gonna spray it down with the degreaser in here because it's just gonna instantly dry out there. So spray it down, get it soaked, let it soak. What, did I just have a stroke? Spray it down, let it soak a little bit in here where it's cooler, and then push it out there and spray it off. Well, dang, that turned out pretty good. Man, I can't believe how well that stuff works. That's the power of the Super Clean, baby. There's a little bit of gunk still down here on the pan rail, but that stuff was like that thick. And I need a pressure washer to get all that off. Got most of it off though, but I ran out of time. I got to head to a friend's birthday party now, so video is gonna end here. It's probably gonna be a while before I get some parts and get slapping this thing back together, but stay tuned, guys. It'll be in an updated video here soon. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.